So how does the BBO Transport work? Well, starting in Bullhorn, a special Canvas report is written. It's configured and laid out according to the templates that we provide. Those reports get run weekly or periodically and saved to a folder. The BBO Transport setup page determines which and how much of that information is used, what the screens might look like, and how the import behaves. The BBO Transport page will import those files, perform a validation and logging process, and then create the records in Business Central. If a record fails, you will be able to modify it and then continue the posting process. Or kick it out because it's bad data. Your choice. Let's take a look at the BBO Transport Setup page. I have mine bookmarked at the top of my homepage. You'll notice there are a number of fast tabs on this page that mostly refer to setting up or mapping. The setup determines the fields and the behavior of each type of import. The mappings take the data from the source file, such as payment terms or units of measure, and transform those into the codes that are set up in Business Central. Oftentimes they are different, or there might be multiple codes in the source file that need to translate to a single code in Business Central, and that can accommodate that approach. Let's take a look at the unit of measure mapping. Notice I have hour, hours, uppercase hours, all translating to the same unit code inside of Business Central. Payment terms as well. If the payment terms coming in the source file are different than you have in Business Central, you're able to synthesize that information. Additionally, we have switches for each mapping. Notice I'm not enabling the country code mapping because it's appropriately supplied in the source file. The other sections up at the top here, let's start at general. When new master records get created in Business Central, there are some other things that we always like to deploy to make sure that they are appropriate. One of them is the General Business Posting Group. This determines some of the posting accounts that are used during transaction entry and posting. Additionally, your source file can provide line types of multiple choices. Most folks will use the item type. However, the general ledger type, as you see, can also be accommodated in case that's how you wanted to build your import. The sales setup, by far the most popular answer or solution to the QuickBooks and BBO integration problem, lies right here. We have enabled our sales integration, as you can see, and I also assigned a customer posting group. That'll determine the accounts receivable side of the entries. The auto create customer dimensions taps into that customization that we talked about in the first video, where we will be able to book journal entries to a customer dimension for financial analysis. Something unique to our product that we also have in our Bullhorn 1 connector. Note the additional user-defined fields. If you have fields inside Bullhorn Back Office that you'd like to bring into Business Central, we'll set the labels here. And if you provide the data in the source file, it'll come into the sales invoices. We also have the option of applying reminder terms and finance charge terms. Very powerful features if you're moving from QuickBooks to Business Central for managing and maintaining your open receivables and communicating with your customers. Our BBO Transport solution also has the capability of bringing in payable charges for mostly 1099 or corp-to-corp type vendors. Note, Business Central Core does not have payroll as a solution. However, if you're interested, GraVoc can recommend and certainly provide some help in that regard. The payable setup side also applies a vendor posting group, and I've also flipped on the vendor dimension creation so we can get granular, detailed information on our payables invoices that we don't get in QuickBooks. User-defined fields as well, similar to as we talked about in the sales setup area. That takes us through the BBO Transport setup page.